The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondell.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stage Door Show. This is Dave Hondell. Tonight, I have an emerging artist that is a new single entitled That Girl out on all streaming platforms. I've watched her perform and she has a great sound, and all of my listeners need to check it out. So please welcome to the show, Sophia Marie. Thank you so much for being with me.
Hello. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being with us tonight. And I know that you have that new song called That Girl.
Yes.
And I mean, the cool thing about that song is, I guess, I don't know how to really say it, but it's really about being unapologetic about who you are, which I think more artists need to be like that, because I think some people try to please, everybody out there with their music, and they end up pleasing a few people, but not themselves, and not the true listeners that should be attracted to your music. So talk about that single and the feeling behind it and where people can find it.
Yeah, very true. So I don't know, this single, I wrote it from a very personal space, and it's from a bunch of things that I have learned over the years. I'm 20 years old now, and I'm learning what life is about my confidence and just how I'm maturing. And I would say I'm at a really good spot in my life with my confidence, and I've learned how to not care what other people think. And I think that that's what this song is about mainly, just letting go of that feeling and just being confident and putting it out. And it's not only with my music, but it's just in like the way that I am, my personality, how I dress. I just learned to stop caring. And that's honestly one of the best feelings in the world. Like when you stop trying to please other people, you know what I mean? So with this song, it started with the lyric, "Oh, I might just dye my hair black and change up how I act, blah, blah, blah." And I was just like joking around with that lyric. I didn't think it would lead to something, but then I'm like, maybe what if I actually do dye my hair black? And what if I stop? And what if I start acting like I don't care what people think? So it turned into me being like a really confident person. And then it turned into an actual song, which is out on all platforms. And I would love for everyone to hear it.
It's funny that you're 20 and you're already at that stage. Most of us takes years and years to get to that level.
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s and I think that way now, but before I was always trying to please everybody. So great for you for being that way now, and learning it sooner than later. And also just watching your stage presence. I mean, you have a lot of confidence on stage. I've seen a lot of your videos, and you're very confident of getting the crowd involved, which I think is amazing. And that's something that a lot of artists, don't have the ability to do, at least right away, until they get more, used to the stage and interacting with people. But you're at that part right now. So when you get on stage, what is your feeling like? I mean, do you have nerves getting up there, or is it something that you just feel comfortable with everything?
Yeah, so I would say a couple years ago, I was very nervous to sing on a stage, which is crazy for me to say because I've been singing my whole life. But it's honestly something like the more you do it, the less nervous you get. I mean, I'm still a little bit nervous at the beginning, but lately it's just like, it's what I love to do, and it feels so natural to be on stage. Like personally, me, I love talking. Like I love talking to a crowd. I love talking to people, and it's something that I've learned from my dad as well. And when I sing on stage, I feel like that's where I'm meant to be. So I think that's what gives me the courage. You know what I mean? And it's taken me a lot of time though. It's not something that I've learned overnight, but I really want to work on my stage presence, even though it looks good. But personally, like I'm an artist and I know how other artists are, and I always just want to be the best at what I'm doing.
Oh, that makes sense. And as you're talking too, one of the things that kind of hit me was, some of the biggest bands that have still been around. I mean, artists, that kind of had that, I don't care what people think. I'm going to do my music. And then people, well, if they're attracted to it, great. If not, great. But like Madonna and, Rolling Stones, all the people like that, the Aerosmith, all these bands that had prolonged careers. they had that same attitude when they performed,
Yeah.
and they attracted their crew, their group, their crew, and other people might not like it, but guess what? They had enough people to sustain their career for this long, and they're still performing. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that's, like I said, and that's one of the things that we talk about on the show all the time with the artists that are newer. Because I think that's, as long as they're true to themselves, people will be attracted to that eventually. People will come. It
Yes.
might take a while, but that's the best kind, because those people will stick to you because they believe in what you believe in, and they listen to what you're saying, and it
Mhm.
rings true to them, and they're going to stick with you for life. And so, like I
Very-
said, good for you for being, who you are and the
Thank,
music that you create. So, good for you.
thank you. Thank you.
And then also, what inspires you? What kind of? I mean, everybody has inspirations, other artists and so forth. So
Yeah.
what other artists do you listen to?
I love the artist Ray. Have you heard of her?
I have, actually. It's Raye, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is an amazing singer. Not only an amazing singer, but she is such a talented songwriter.
Hmm.
Um, and her lyrics, they talk about, her upbringing and how she had to break into the industry, how hard it was to break into the music industry, and just stories of people telling her no, 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 and then she finally got a yes. And so that's really what inspires me, because this music industry, it's not easy, just like any other career. But it's harder when you're, in the spotlight and sharing what you're doing all the time. I also love Ariana Grande. She's a classic. Everyone loves her. She's such a talented vocalist, and she definitely inspires me vocally. And I love Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Jennifer Hudson. They're the best singers out there.
Yeah, I agree. Those are great examples. And when you're talking about the music business, is something I've been in for over 20 years, and so you've seen, you always see the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to the music business. And and the music business isn't just recording or labels. I mean,
Um,
it's playing clubs and live, and and out there, trying to make a living. So what, getting into the music business, is it what you expected it was going to be, or much different, or worse, or better, or like, explain that?
Hmm, I used to think it was all about talent and, it'd be so easy if you have talent, but the more I'm older and the more I mature, I'm realizing that it's not only about that. It's definitely a lot of politics involved, money is involved, who knows who. Social media is the biggest factor in it, I would say now, which I think it's a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but I look at it as a positive thing. Back then it would be about if someone had talent, they would sign you. Back then there was no social media, you know what I mean? So they would sign these artists and make them big. The label would make them big. But now you can build your own fan base and be an independent artist, which I think that's such a good opportunity. It might be a little bit harder, but I think the outcome is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it levels the playing field for sure. When I started doing music videos, it wasn't even HD yet. And
No,
we didn't
no,
have, and there was a time when I started, there was no cell phones, there was no social media, like you said. It really was. I think the
yeah,
first thing that came out was MySpace. It was
yeah,
one of the first social media sites was MySpace, and I'll be honest with you, I miss MySpace because you were able to build your own website essentially on social media, and for musicians, it was beautiful. But it
mhm,
went by the wayside when Facebook took over and some of the others.
yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, you're right. I mean, it does evolve over time, and who knows where we're going to be in another 5 years, when it comes to being an artist. So, I think social media is great. It could be bad. So talk about, being an emerging artist, because there's a lot of things that people do on social media that really ruins their career, especially before it even starts sometimes. So how do you
yeah.
handle your social media, and, how careful are you before you post something?
Um, like I don't know, like with posting, I mostly try to make my Instagram page about my music and like the behind the scenes. Other social medias like TikTok, it's more day in my life or, lifestyle
Right.
thing because that's what I see is trending and I need to hop on what's trending to grow. Social media is very hard to grow because there is just so much competition on it. It's very oversaturated now in
Yeah.
2025.
Algorithms,
But
everything. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not going to make me, give up because I'm always going to be trying to grow my platforms.
When did you start singing? I mean, when was it? You said you've been singing your whole life, but when was that?
Yeah, I've been singing forever. Around maybe the age of 5, I started. My dad had a band growing up,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, I would be surrounded by such talented singers, and he would always be playing live. So I would see that, and I think that's what made me fall in love with music even more. And then around the age of 11, I started writing songs, and then me and my dad started writing together. I started writing on my own, and we wrote with other people. And so, and my dad, he was a singer, songwriter, producer, all of it. He just never made it huge, but he was always trying. He got very close. He got a few publishing deals. So I learned a lot from him, and now he's passing down what he knows to help me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's great. We always talk about the support of people around you and, always keeping your circle small,
Mhm.
especially in the music business because you don't know who to trust. And obviously if you have a family member, a dad, mom, who's who's in the music business, I mean, that's like a plus right there, but
Very.
not all parents want their kids to follow in their footsteps, especially when it comes to entertainment. So did you approach your dad or did your dad kind of help get you in? I mean, how did that go when you said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be in this business"?
It's kind of like a natural thing. It was a very natural upbringing. But I think we really knew it's when I started, writing my own songs, and I was like, wow, like I'm actually pretty good at this. And he said, wow, you can take it to the next level. And then we started getting involved with producers and trying to get my music out there. And then I started posting on social media. And then I would say around the age of 18 is when I really started trying to get out there as an artist on my own. I started auditioning for shows like The Voice, American Idol, America's Got Talent, competitions. I've been doing a bunch of competitions lately.
I mean, that's good. It's always good to do competitions. I think it's probably, it's something that's good because anytime you can audition, it's good practice, to get out there, even if you hear no or you hear yes, whatever. It's always good to get out there and perform in front of people, regardless of what it is. So I guess what's kind of coming up on the horizon? Do you have anything exciting that our listeners can learn about?
Yes, I'm always working on new music, so stay tuned for that. You can find my music out on all platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, Tidal. But I do have a meeting coming up with a publishing company in Nashville. Me and my dad are going to be attending, and we're going to be working out some things. So I will definitely keep you guys updated. But this is a very big opportunity because I've always wanted to write songs with other people, write songs for other people's and labels. So I would say this is one of my first big meetings. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward.
So, we always have artists give advice to our other artists that are listening, and I'm gonna say it in the form of this question: What would the current version of you tell the younger version of you from what you've experienced during this kind of emerging into the music business? I mean, what did you learn that you probably wouldn't do again?
Hmm. That's a good question. I mean, I do have a very good line that my dad has always told me, and it's some advice I'd give to my younger self. And it goes, hard work beats talent every time talent is hardly working. Have you heard it?
I've heard something similar, but that's a great line. I love that.
Yeah, and I would just give it to my younger self because, stepping into an industry, you think it's all about talent, but really it's the hard work that will get you places in whatever you're doing. It can be from
Right.
social media to singing to working on your stage presence, and I think that's what I'm getting really good at. And it's just something that I love, so it's coming naturally.
No, I love that. That's well said and great advice too. I mean, I love that from your dad. So, Yeah, so that's good. And the other thing is what I always ask this too. I mean, of people that haven't performed a ton of places, but like big venues. What's the one place, the dream venue that you've always wanted to play, or that you hope to play at someday? I mean, no matter what it is, sky's the limit.
Dream venue. That's a really good question. I would say Madison Square Garden. You see
I
so
hear
many
that a
big
lot.
artists. Yeah. You see
Yeah,
so many big artists play there. That would be insane. But I think it can happen, you know?
absolutely. Well, that's a great venue. I mean, who doesn't like that? When
Yeah.
it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave behind when at the end of your career, when it's all said and done?
Good question. I want people to really know me for my art, the music that I create. Um, and I want people to know that you can do whatever you put your mind to as long as you're confident, you do it on good terms. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. So, how can people find you on social media, websites, and how can they learn more about you?
Yeah. So my Instagram, you can find me under the Sophia Marie. That's TheSophiaMarie. On TikTok, it's at I'm Sophia Marie with two A's. On YouTube, it's the same thing. And then on Spotify, it's just Sophia Marie, where I just released my latest single, That Girl. Make sure you guys go stream that, and that's where you can find me.
So, as far as performing live, where do you perform out of mostly? Like, where's your
Yeah,
home base?
I would say mainly in Miami. I did a few shows there, one with Breaking Sound, and we did it at, I forget where it is, but it's a small venue in Miami, and I do have some upcoming shows. I'm not sure of the dates, but I will be posting them on my Instagram story so you guys can find out.
Yeah, I mean, I was recently a resident of that area, and we lived in Hollywood, but we worked in
Oh, very
Miami,
nice.
so I was very familiar with that area.
Cool.
So, best of luck to you, Sophia Marie. I appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
on the show, and you're welcome back anytime. And again, anything new, the news breaking here soon. When you go to Nashville, whatever that might be, let us
Yeah,
know, and we'll put it on our social media, and we'll push it.
awesome.
But thanks for joining us tonight, and best of luck
Thank
to
you.
you, and can't wait to have you back.
Thank you so much. It's great talking with you.